And I'm going to continue to move until we get the total ban on the total initiative relative to what we're going to do with more Border Patrol and more asylum officers.
President Trump?
I really don't know what he said at the end of that sentence. I don't think he knows what he said either. Look.
Well, that first debate between Trump and Biden will certainly go down in American history. If you haven't watched the debate yet, I highly encourage you to at least check out some highlights. I also want to give you a heads up and a big warning for spoilers, as I am going to discuss specifics of this first 2024 election debate. With that said, I wanted to discuss the winners and losers of this first debate. I also wanted to highlight some key takeaways that I found from this first debate between Trump and Biden. But first, if you haven't already, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel, as it helps us grow. Okay, so I'm going to jump back and forth between winners and losers of this first debate. The first obvious loser is Joe Biden. Biden had perhaps what was the worst debate performance in American history. President Biden has dementia, and he's not well. What we saw in this first debate was elder abuse, just plain and simple. Biden stumbled and mumbled for the entirety of the debate. When Biden wasn't talking, Joe had the worst facial reactions we have ever seen. This even led to Comedy Central's Jon Stewart to call Biden's facial reactions as, quote, a resting 25th Amendment face. Biden is the biggest loser of this debate because that was potentially his first and last impression on the main stage in American politics. The Biden presidential campaign is stating that Joe will stay in this race and that he will even debate again. I don't think that's a good idea. It's hard to see a comeback for Biden after the worst debate performance in our country's history. Then when we look at winners, it's obvious that Donald Trump is a winner. Trump's performance wasn't spectacular, but it was good and at times great. Trump delivered his typical one or two great one-liners in this debate, but Trump really won this debate because Biden failed so badly. I predicted this would happen in my last video. I know the social media crowd was clamoring that CNN was rigging the debate, that the muting of mics was going to benefit Biden, but that actually wasn't the case. It actually benefited Trump. Trump let Biden talk himself into a pretzel, and the rules helped this as well. Trump let Biden hang himself with his own words. Trump showed more resistance and restraint than he did in the 2020 debates. Trump is a winner because he didn't interrupt. He seemed strong. He seemed mentally sharp. The one area of improvement for Trump going forward will be humility. Trump is on a path to win this election and probably win it pretty handedly. But Trump should continue to work on some of his worst character flaws. If Trump works on some of these character flaws, he'll only gain more and more supporters. For example, as this election goes on, and as Biden has more and more missteps, Trump should speak more positively and talk more about we, capital W-E, as a country, and what we can accomplish together, rather than dwell on the past, dwelling on witch hunts, dwelling on stolen elections, and bragging about himself. Showing strength is sometimes turning the other cheek. Trump did that for the most part of this debate. He didn't come across as a bully. He didn't go over the top when he could have attacked Biden's lack of mental fitness. Trump needs to continue on this path and invite more Americans to his coalition. The other big loser of this debate was the Obama legacy. Biden once stood for a continuation of the Obama years, but we are so far removed from that talking point. Obama cannot save Biden from the train wreck that is his presidency. Furthermore, if Biden continues to flop and eventually loses, as it looks like it's going to happen, it is not only a referendum on Biden, but also the 8 years that Obama served as president. As time goes on, Americans are viewing the Obama presidency more and more negatively, and Joe Biden is only solidifying that. And in terms of wins, the next rare win actually goes to CNN. Now let me be clear, CNN is still the same shit show as always, but the moderators at CNN did a good job in this first debate. I actually missed the first 30 minutes of the debate. I missed the majority of Joe Biden's collapse in the beginning, and I rewatched it later. But after watching just like the last 45 minutes, I assumed CNN commentators would defend Biden immediately after the debate, but the opposite happened. For once, mainstream media realized that they could not hide Biden's lack of mental fitness any longer. The rare win to CNN here, as the platform conducted the actual debate extremely well. I do want to make one caveat though. CNN would not let independent channels such as mine live stream the debate. With the threat of channel takedowns or strikes from CNN out in the open, I decided not to live stream my reaction to the debate. Many other channels followed this approach as caution was necessary. And the last big loser in this debate was the Democratic Party. The Democrat establishment and media have tried to hide Biden's dementia and vegetable brain from the public for the last 3 years, and the public has had enough. The Democratic Party is forced to now eat crow as they panic with limited options going forward. I believe the Democrat convention is less than 50 days away. Even if Democrats can replace Biden, what path is there going forward? You hear Democrat pundits brag that any other candidate could beat Trump. That is simply not true. They said the same thing about Hillary. History shows that multiple candidates can lose to Trump. The Democrat Party is a huge loser as the American public will not trust the party's judgment after this whole Biden fiasco. And this all brings one last winner to mind, the American voter. That's right, Americans got transparency in the form of Biden's meltdown. The American public saw Trump and Biden duke it out, and that is what our country deserved. There's so much noise out there. Some call it dis or misinformation, but I really hate those terms. I hate those words in our discourse. But hey, Americans saw both candidates debate live. That's awesome. There's no spin doctors that can alter a live stream. We will not forget the history that occurred before our very eyes with that first presidential debate. So those are some of my winners and losers from that first debate between Trump and Biden, but let's quickly touch on a few key takeaways that I found. Firstly, the media and Democrat establishment is all over the place. First, they were talking about potentially replacing him immediately after the debate, but they would sugarcoat it saying that Biden has accomplished a lot and blah, 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 that Biden has a legacy. Biden does not have a good legacy. He has been an utter failure all the way back to his plagiarism of his first presidential campaign. Not to mention, Biden's negative legacy includes racism in his early years, economic blunders as both VP and president, and now we have the nail in the coffin, which is Biden's embarrassing lack of mental fitness. Biden's legacy is simple. He's a failed politician and one of the worst presidents in our country's history. The debate showed that Biden will not make it another 4 years. Heck, he might not even make it another 4 months, and we are in uncharted and scary times as our country. We don't want Harris as president, but this train wreck is not over yet. Another key takeaway I had was more of a question. Will there be any debates going forward? There's supposed to be a second debate, but will we even have it? Should Trump even debate at this point? It's a very valid question. It's hard to see any benefit for Trump debating again. Biden is claiming he will participate in the September debate, but that may be ill-advised as his public image is in such a low point. And my last takeaway is simple. This race is all but over between Trump and Biden. Don't take your vote for granted. Make sure to spread the word. Advocate for your values. Make sure you show up and vote. Biden supporters, though, particularly young and minority voters, are not enthusiastic. And they're probably going to stay home and not vote at the highest levels that they usually do. I expect a lower Democratic turnout compared to 4 years ago. In my view, the first 2024 election debate between Trump and Biden ended this election. Trump is on track to win in a landslide. Crazier things can still happen, but I don't think Biden is savable. The Democrats can even replace Biden, but as of right now, Trump's voters will show up and deliver him the election. That's my early prediction, at least. Okay, those are my key takeaways and winners and losers of this first presidential debate. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, stay happy, stay healthy, and make sure to make time to have fun with your friends and family this summer. Thank you.